Hello, I'm Billy Wilson, and I'm going to give you a short tutorial on one of my favorite tools to use in Photoshop, the Patch tool. Right now, I have open one of the images I used to composite the image that was the last one for my Christmas series. And in this image, I did not remove the clothesline before setting up the lighting, so I ended up with a shadow on my face, so I'm going to zoom in and show you that. Um, So the first thing that we want to do, we want to duplicate this layer so that we have a layer to work on. So if we mess up, we can delete it, or we can lower the opacity, or we can change the blend mode and that sort of stuff. So we want to press Control J or Command J if you're on a Mac, and now we have a new layer. Once you're on a new layer, you want to press J on your keyboard to have the patch tool selected, and if it's not selected, you can cycle through the tools by pressing Shift plus or Shift minus until you have the tool selected. Once you have the tool selected, you want to make certain that you're zoomed in nicely so that you can draw easily around the shadow area, and you want to draw just around that to select it. And once you have it selected, you want to click in the center and you want to sample from an area with a similar texture. You want to make certain it's a similar texture because that is the area that it's going to interpolate from. And if you don't have a similar texture, then it's going to look really different from the area around it. And you also want to make certain that skin has texture, because if we sample from the background, which is solid black, which has no texture, we end up with just a blurry look, and that does not look natural on skin. So we should also sample a wee bit around here to make certain that the skin looks natural now that we've sampled here. And we also want to touch up the shadow on the nose here. And you have to be certain of keeping away from edges when you're sampling, because you can also kind of use this as a clone tool in a sense. Like if you could like go here and then you can you can see in the little area that you have selected what is going to be put into it as you hover over the area before letting go of from clicking. And you can kind of use it as a clone tool, but it interpolates, which is why I like using this tool more than the clone tool, because with the clone tool you can end up with like patterns going across your image because you kept selecting from a similar area. With this tool it interpolates. This tool is also great at touching up blemishes, and you can also use it to remove some noise, but because you can like select one area with some noise in the shadows, and you can select an area with less texture in it. And usually you can get away with that, although it takes a lot of work and you have to be careful about some of the tones in your shadow areas, because shadow areas don't tend to have much texture or detail, so you can get away with sampling for them. I'm going to zoom out and I'm going to show you how we remove the shadow. I'm going to toggle the visibility of this layer and you can see how we remove the shadow. I hope that you found this tutorial informative and enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.